All right, everybody, welcome to Tales from a Degen. I am your host, JJ Lieberman, the number one degenerate podcast in the world. It's for Degens, by Degens, or by Degen, but we will have other guests on as we have in the past. And just to give you a little background of the studio, aka my fucking 100 square foot room in Brooklyn, New York, I felt it was too bleak just to have the walls empty. So I hung up, there were like 4 screws hanging out of the wall, and one was long enough where I could hang up a Philadelphia Phillies batting practice uniform jersey that my buddy who won the World Series with them, but he's super fat, so I can't wear it. So, right, he gave it to me, and I'm like, well, what do you want me to do with it? And I literally brought it from Canada to America with me. I don't know why. I had one, this is how little clothes I have. This is how big of a fucking degenerate I am. I had such little clothes that I thought I could bring this triple X batting practice shirt with me, and I still don't wear it. So it's finally come to use. After getting it 8 years ago, he literally stopped being with the Phillies. I think it was 7 or 8 years ago. How I still have it, I don't know, but it is on my wall for the studio until we figure out how we can make some money and decorate it So. This is what we're going to do. We're going to talk about what's going on right now in our lives. We just got off the road. I was on the road for 11 days, which is great because I have 2 dogs, and my dog sitter charges me $80. So $880 for the dogs. You can't see they're laying on the bed on the mattress on the floor, which is also a degenerate move. This is how you know you can't get laid. When you invite someone back to your house. You can't. I have to meet someone and then always have an excuse of why they can't come over to my house. I'm like, oh, my dogs, like it always has to do something with my dogs, right? Like to avoid the inevitable question, are you 42 with roommates and you sleep on the floor? I mean, there's no situation that gets you laid. And the people who want to sleep with you after knowing that all that information, you don't want to sleep with. Like someone's like, oh, you have 2 roommates, you're 42 years old, and you sleep on the floor? Let me come ride you in your 100 square foot room. And I'm like, oh, I faded HIV for so many years dating guys. I just can't. I just can't sleep with this chick who's willing to sleep with me. So that's the situation. That's studio situation. This is a studio situation, but we have a sign getting made on Amazon for $19. So don't worry. We'll keep the fucking Philly jersey out there. What's the term? Not in lieu. For the first rant, we had this Phillies jersey. It's not going fucking anywhere. It is staying here. It is part of the podcast. So we just got back after 11 days on the road. We went from Phoenix. No, it was actually North Scottsdale, which is one of the nicest areas, which presents itself a problem because when there's area that snowbirds go to, the snowbirds love to get away from the city, so they go to North Scottsdale where it's big money, closed mines. They were good shows, don't get me wrong, but last month I did downtown Chicago at Zany's, where every show, and this is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, sold out shows, touring with Ryan Long, who's one of the fucking best comedians. I honestly think one of the funniest guys in America, and just happens to be one of my good buddies, but he's one of the funniest comedians. But he still draws an audience from Arizona, but there would still be a percentage of people who like, let's go to a comedy show on a Friday night, and then I'm up there screaming about gay sex, unprotected sex. It just doesn't hit like it would hit for a bunch of fucking 28-year-olds on a Tuesday night in downtown Chicago. So there were some times when I'd be on stage screaming about Jeffrey Dahmer as a role model, and it felt like I was just dragging my knuckles on the ground. And but still, a lot of people liked it, so just not everyone. I got off stage on the Friday show. Friday first show was sold out. That was the second show of the weekend. And as I get off stage, I go to the bar and I grab like a seltzer. and I just see 4 people just leaving. And average age of those 4 people was 75 years old. They all had gray hair, and they're like, that's not for them. And I don't feel bad. They show on the fucking website who's on the lineup, and you just think you're going to go to you're just going to go to a comedy show without searching who's on the show and think you're getting that. I'm not going to feel bad for that. Fuck you. Fuck you and your ignorance. You know, this ain't the fucking 60s anymore where it's vaudeville, or I don't even know who was performing back then. But anyways, so it was a little tough. It was a little tough. Do I think I had clean shows like I did in somewhere like Chicago or New York? No, but were they good shows? They were great shows. So that was good. And then on Monday, I actually got to hang out with my pops for a couple of days. But my pops is like me. Like we're not super crazy family. So like once we hang out, like I love them and we're close. We speak all the time. But once we hang out for a couple of days, it's good. You get your fix. You get your fix. That's great. That's great to have in a relationship, right? It's kind of like you don't want someone around all the time. You see each other, you hang out, we talk, we go out to eat, we shoot the shit. That's fine. We talk every week. I don't need to physically see someone. Like what am I gonna do? Just stare at you all, and like, hey, and just look. Like we talk every fucking week. Why do I need to see? Like how many hugs need to be given if you speak every week? We saw each other 4 out of the 5 days I was there, and I said, okay, I'm going to go to Austin, and I flew to Austin, and let me tell you something. That is one of my favorite places in the world. I love Vegas because I'm a degenerate. I love gambling. I love escorts, and food. I don't know why else. What else do you like Vegas for? I don't know. The fucking mountains. But I go to Austin, and the comedy scene is fantastic. A lot of great young and up-and-comers, a lot of established comics. Did a show Monday night, was fantastic. I was so exhausted, though. A lot of comics like to hang out at one of the clubs, and I was like, I can't hang out. I need to have an edible and get some Mexican food delivered to my La Quinta room, La Quinta Inn and Suites, which was the most disgusting hotel, but I got a $40 credit back. Because if I don't like the stay, like, here's the thing. I attack big corporations. Like, I go after the airlines. I go after big pharma. I don't go after big pharma. But if I got medication, I could. I go after Amazon. Fuck them all. I do returns. I do everything. I go after the corporations that are sucking you dry. And so I stayed in a La Quinta. There were fucking stains on the floor. It smelled like death. And I had to swipe my key to get into my room area, not like just the hallway. And it was just dangling, like someone ripped it out in rage before he hit his wife. So I just was not happy about this. I had to meet the fucking Uber Eats driver. This is how tough the life is. When you have to go downstairs to a lobby to meet an Uber Eats driver, you know that life is difficult. When you're going downstairs to meet an Uber Eats driver and you got a Philadelphia Phillies batting practice jersey on your wall because you can't afford a real studio, you're living an oppressed life. I can't even get my teeth cleaned yet. I'm totally oppressed. So I slept the night and I checked out and went over to my buddy's house to sleep on his couch, which was so much better than sleeping at the La Quinta, even though he was blasting the AC because he's in his fucking 20s. Joe Begley fucking going viral on TikTok because he can speak Chinese. Also, he's 6'2" and 170 pounds and fucking beautiful. I slept on his couch after that, but as I was sleeping on his couch, I'm like, fuck that. I'm getting I spent $90 at this La Quinta that stunk. I'm getting back fucking a credit, and I argued with them for probably 2 hours over chat, and then eventually they gave me a $40 credit. So taking down big business is what we do in our spare time. I wish I could take down the people that made me fucking bald, because that's a big problem. That's from drinking out of the bottles. So we did that. And we did a bunch of shows on Tuesday. We did a couple shows on Tuesday that were fantastic, and we did a couple shows on Wednesday. We did an independent show and then East Austin Comedy Club, which, man, there's like so many hot people that live in this town. Food trucks are open 24/7, or they're open at night, and you just go into a bar, all the bars at the back, they have people hanging out. It's fucking December. You go to a food truck, you clog your arteries. It's a great city. There's some hot fucking bitches, some hot dudes. Everyone's hot. Everyone's got, tech money. There's still like cool culture, and they're like, we're Austin weird, and I'm like, no, everyone's fucking weird. You're just not like closeted about your craziness. So it was a great city. I had such a fun time, and then from there, I went to Plano to do 5 more shows. And same kind of vibes as Scottsdale. Plano's a suburb in Dallas. They got a lot of money, and it's a lot of rich people. So it's like, me and Ryan would talk, like, how aggressive do you want to be? But here was the best part of Plano. I found an escort on what was that? What's that? What? FetLife. She naturally lactates. And she was like, she sent me a video, and she's like, for $75 more, because I paid her for the video. And she's like, for $75 more, you could come suck on my titties. And it wasn't a lot, but it was still nice. It was still a nice experience. It was very, don't want to show those curtains. Not even curtains. It was very therapeutic. It was just like a nice hangout, like a nice therapy. Like some people go to therapy, they want to talk out their problems. I want to go to therapy, sucking on titty milk and feeling good afterwards. Now I have to wait for a few months to worry about like any. But she was safe and clean and everything. We didn't even really do anything. A little spray to the face. Maybe I lost people at the little spray to the face. But it was a good trip. It was a great trip. After paying $800 and something for the dog sitter for 11 days, because I don't want to worry about my fucking dogs, right? I don't want to worry about my dogs, and should I possibly let them go to a pound and let them suffer? Yes, but I want to be like Bob Barker, where I come across as a good humanitarian who cares about dogs, even though that doesn't mean humanitarian doesn't mean that. But at the same time, I'm a piece of shit scumbag like Bob Barker, who turned 99 today and is literally riddled with allegation after allegation of sexual assault, because that was the time. Like, you think this old fucking straight man hosting a game show, you don't think he's gonna try and get some TNA from them hot chicks? You think he was just good old Christian dude telling you to spray and neuter your dogs, and that's it? No. That's my fucking theory. Anyone who is super philanthropic, what's the word? Philanthropic? Hold on, let's Google this fucking word right now. The benefits of doing philanthropic. That's definitely not the word. Philanthropic? How do you fucking say this? Philanthropic! That fucking Google bitch. Anyone who's philanthropic, and you know the shame of this? I said it off camera alone. No witnesses, just my fucking dogs. I said philanthropic alone in my head. But then I wasn't prepared because I was calling fucking America's guy, Bob Barker, scumbag. So I couldn't say philanthropic, and then I had the Google learn to pronounce button. Computers are fantastic. So my theory is, anyone who's philanthropic always turns out to be a scumbag. It's like the Bill Gates theory. It's like you spend half your life obtaining your wealth, and then you spend the other half of your life giving back. And because you have to give back, because at 50 you're like, Jesus Christ, what criminal activities I've done to attain this kind of wealth. Everyone, Bezos. Everyone you can think of, Steve Jobs, everyone you can think of who was like a billionaire, Elon Musk, Epstein, everyone who went to the fucking island, they all have some kind of drama about them. Me, that's how you know I'm a good person. No money, just a Phillies jersey hanging from a screw that was put up there, but I don't even know why there's a screw over there. The only theory I could have is some chick lived here before in this 50 square foot room with other roommates, and she's like, I'm gonna put up some motivational sign that druggy Marilyn Monroe said, that heroin, sleep pill, drug abuser, she once said something, so that motivates me because she was a star doing fucking opioids. So that's the remains of lefters. There's 4 screws. Could have been a TV. I don't even know. Anyhow, I didn't even tell you how I did Branch of Davidians. I went to the compound. Well, it might as well. We're here. I was going to end on that beautiful rant, but I'll tell you something. I went to the David Koresh sign in Waco. Let me just say one thing. You're out in the middle of nowhere in Waco, which is in the middle of nowhere, and you're pulling up to this compound, and it's all burnt to the ground, and there's still a church there. It's really eerie, and there's a sign that said the FBI attacked them. I don't know the whole fucking story. I don't have time to look into what really went on. I just wanted a picture to post to Instagram and then rant on how I thought the idea of David Koresh giving to PETA would be funny. But then I'm like, what am I doing? So I didn't even post it. I should have just said I'm here at Branch of Davidians. It's a real fucking church in existence. They're asking for $10 donation. I'm like, I'm not giving you fucking $10. But it is, I think the reason that people hated him is they went to the FBI because he was fucking every dude's wife. And I'm like, yeah, but if you're gonna be the leader of the cult, the whole point to be a leader of the cult is to fuck every dude's wife. You're fucking everyone legal age. Isn't that the whole point of being a leader of a cult? Isn't that what they all do? You're not doing it for the good of the people. You don't become a leader of a cult to be a good human being. Well, we saw that. It was really eerie. And then the guy I went with, there's a bunch of other people who were just, because it's not even a tourist thing. Nobody was there. There was 4 or 5 people. It's called the compound, the memorial compound, but it's run by the Branch of Davidians. They're still praying to, I don't even know what they do, but it was definitely a crazy place to go, and I highly recommend the documentary that I don't remember anything about. I just remember that I think the dude was fucking a bunch of women in his cult, or that's just every cult, like I said. But anyways, that was the week. We're going to post this weekly. We're going to get some guests. We're going to get a better studio. But we're always going to keep that fucking jersey because it was here from day one. And I never forget the people who stuck with us from day one. This is JJ Lieberman, Tales from a DJ. And remember, as our new outro, wipe front to back. Because if you go back to front, your balls are going to smell like your asshole. Which probably a true degenerate does. Have a great week.